will feature Tom Adams of the Atwood Buffaloes and Chad Coster of the Hoxie Indians. And Adams has really come to wrestle in recent weeks and really did a good job at the edge of the mat there.
Adams all fired up. He is the challenger of sorts here in this contest, but he isn't waiting for action to come from the other boy.
Adams in the red uniform. The Hoxie boy Coster is in the white with a red stripe.
Adams the aggressor so far, but this match is young. It's early.
Adams is a junior. Coster is a sophomore. Adams comes into this match with a record of 21-6. Coster enters in with a record of 25-4. These guys have met along the way somewhere throughout the season, both from the Northwest Kansas League. A second Northwest Kansas League matchup here in the championships this year in 3-2 and 1A.
And they're tying up defensively. We're in the first period, and no score, of course. They're in the neutral position. Adams in the red uniform, as you mentioned, Rich. Coster tries to reach in. They go out of bounds, and the referee blows the whistle. They'll come back to the center and get a new start.
Adams and Coster both had relative easy going getting to the championships. Adams won the semifinals over Soliday from Phillipsburg, which was considered somewhat of an upset. Jeff Soliday 9-8-3. Meanwhile, Chad Coster had no problems with Greg Seeger of Holton winning that match 11-0 in the semifinals. But this one here, they're just kind of feeling each other out.
They're being very conservative. As we mentioned, it's scoreless here in the first period. Adams gets in deep on the single, and Coster counters with the whizzer. Almost lost his balance. Now Coster trying to move Adams out of bounds. They do go off the mat.
Adams was actually going to try to do the throwing that time, it looked like, but Coster was doing everything to counter.
Adams so far has made a couple of good shots, and Coster being the defensive wrestler here in the first position, or rather the first period, neutral position. Adams gets in deep once again. He's setting up for a bear hug there momentarily. Now tries to roll through. Coster steps across. Adams comes up. Oh, it was 2. I don't know, but the referee signaled 2. And now Coster comes out behind and trying to get a reversal. He's working for an escape. Adams with 2 points on the takedown. Adams comes back in, tries a tip. Fireman's carry, a short fireman's carry. Coster tries to whip him over. Coster with a whizzer. Counter goes out of bounds. It's you'll see shortly here, it's 2-1. It is 2-1. Tom Adams with the takedown. Coster with the escape.
Pretty active first period. Not a lot of scoring, but sure a lot of attempts. Atwood Steve Woody, you can see in the background the coach is sitting there, and Steve Woody from Atwood gets a little emotional. Kirk Baker's gotten kind of an emotional here during the tournament a little bit. Kirk, of course, a former state champion in Goodland, wrestled for the Cowboys. Steve Woody, who is not the head coach, but the acting coach, I guess, at Atwood, wrestled in Ray, Colorado, I believe.
All right, Chad Coster, bottom side, second period on the stand-up. Tries to turn in, come around beside Tom Adams. Adams has a 2-1 lead, and Coster trying to get the reversal. Adams steps, across the leg. Counters the move. The referee is in watching closely. Coster now tries to get a little bit more of an angle. Comes off to the side. He's scooting around. I believe he's getting a reversal, and he does. So Chad Coster now goes into the lead, and he does have a reversal. Tom Adams, the wrestler in the red uniform, trying to turn in Coster with the white on the uniform. We have a stalemate. And that means the referee has judged that neither wrestler can improve his position, and they'll come back to the center for another start.
Coster now with a 3-2 lead. This is one of 3 Hoxie wrestlers in the championship round, and one of 3 Atwood wrestlers in the championships.
On the whistle, Tom Adams comes to his feet, but Coster brings him to the mat with a tight waist. Riding now with the tight waist and the crotch ride. Keeps the arms controlled. Adams tries to reach in. Coster reaches in for the half Nelson. Coster now working with a 2-on-1 in the standing position. Trips Tom Adams out of bounds. Adams rolls over, but it won't count.
Pretty good try on the edge of the mat as they go out of bounds. 3-2 your score. 119-pound championship match in Hays, Kansas, the Kansas Class 3, 2, and 1A. You can see Steve Woody in the background, the Atwood coach, looking on quite intent.
Adams on a sit-out turn-in gets Coster up a little bit high. And Chad Coster hanging on, and literally hanging on, and once again the referee calls a stalemate. And that's a good judgment call on the part of the official. He wants to see the action, and so does the crowd.
Coster looks over at his coach, Kirk Baker, for instructions, who's up only by 1.
And once again, Adams on a stand-up turn-in, tries for the switch. Coster hanging on, both arms around the body, now switches off to the 2-on-1. Adams tries a turn-in. Coster rolls through with the move. Adams bridges back. There's a count going.
I think he waved off the point. I think he waved it off. He thought he had it there, but he didn't.
Well, it was kind of a rocking chair type of deal. It wasn't a roll through. He rocked one way and back the other. And you're right, Rich. It's still 3-2. Coster. Coster, the wrestler from Hoxie, in the top position. And time runs out here in the second period. It's 3-2 and a close one.
Tom Adams looks over at his coach, Steve Woody, to get instructions. Kirk Baker in the right-hand corner up there in your screen from Hoxie, and Steve Woody on the left-hand side of the screen. Both coaches kind of into this match.
Rich, they float out of bounds from the neutral position here in the third period. Coster, the boy with the white on the uniform.
Now, Adams had the choice, I think, to begin the third period. Shows up. Are you surprised at that a little bit?
Well, he did make a couple of good takedown tries in the first period. I think he thinks he can score on the takedown. But Coster being defensive a little bit here.
Working near the edge of the mat.
Chad Coster takes just a moment now to tie his shoelace. They never stayed tied, Rich.
There's Kirk Baker right there as he watches the action. Both coaches from Hoxie looking on intent. Their wrestlers up by 1. Back to the action. They're in the center of the mat, and Adams has got to try to make it happen for Atwood.
And Chad Coster, he can defend the center of the circle, and he's right out in the middle of the mat right now. Coster hanging on in the tie-up. Adams with his back towards the mat in the red uniform. Chad Coster, the Hoxie wrestler in the white uniform, does have the 3-2 lead.
Adams is working. You know, you can just kind of tell. I mean, they're not stalling out there. Adams is working, trying to figure out a way that he can get something to happen. And Coster, of course, got to be very careful that he doesn't give up anything.
And Rich, you know, you take a look at the clock. We're down to 57 seconds. Adams gets good penetration, tries to step through and set under. And Coster traps him on his back. He's going to score on the move. Chad Coster on a counter move puts a lot of leverage on Tom Adams' arm, trying to turn him for near fall points.
Well, I'll tell you what, they gambled. Adams gambled and came up short.
Well, that's true. He took a risk. He was trailing 3-2, and now he trails 5-2. Back points, they're out of bounds. But wrestling continues as long as either wrestler is in bounds. We're down to 15 seconds, third period. The match time is running out, and time is running out for Tom Adams. Chad Coster, the count is finally going. He's getting near fall points, and you can hear the Hoxie crowd in the background. They're excited.
8-2. Chad Coster with a championship here at 119 pounds. Tom Adams of Atwood gave it a valiant effort. Chad Coster is the 1990 Kansas Class 3, 2A, 1A, 119-pound champion by a score of 8-2. And you can hear the Hoxie crowd, who's probably here in as big a full force as any school, I suppose.
Well, I